my name is Rebecca Watkins. For those that don't know my history, I will give you the very brief Cliff Notes version. Prior to this, my salvation story was that I was saved when I was 5 after I said a prayer with my kindergarten teacher. I grew up in a Christian home, I went to Christian school, I attended a Christian college, my dad was a pastor. I knew all the answers and I could have a spiritual conversation with anyone. My story really begins in November 2011 when my mom passed away suddenly and very unexpectedly. Fast forward a few years and my older sister, my only sibling, passed away in February of 2018. And then my dad passed away 5 months later in July 2018. After my dad passed away, I was empty. I'd spent so much time taking care of him and having my life revolve around him. I didn't know what to do with myself, and I could feel myself starting to slide into a very deep and very dark depression. And anytime that I started to question my salvation, I always argued with myself that I was saved when I was 5. This went on for several years, and then we entered 2021, and several things started to happen simultaneously that made me start to really look at myself. And in the spring of this year, I was asked to order a book entitled Forgiving What You Can't Forget. And I asked the person that was ordering the book if she was doing a Bible study, and if so, if I could join the class. And I can't explain why I wanted to join, I just felt like I needed to. And after reading the book, I realized just how mad I was at God for taking my family. I realized I had stuffed that anger so far down, but that it was starting to spew out. And it became very clear that it had started to affect every area of my life. I didn't want to come to church. I struggled to come to work. I started to distance myself from social activities, and I just wanted to spend more time by myself. And then I hit the 3rd anniversary of my dad's passing in July, and I couldn't understand why my grief journey was so much worse now than it was in the beginning. And I started to question God. Why did you take my family? Why did you leave me here? They were the people that loved me unconditionally and that would be there for me no matter what. Who is going to take their spot? As I entered the last weekend of August, I just felt this heavy weight on me. I can't describe it other than it just felt like something was pressing down on me. And I came to church on Sunday, and in our family group, we were watching the videos, The Gospel Above All. And Brian Arnold asked our class if anyone had any thoughts. And Casey Johnson said, I really feel for people who don't have anyone who prays for them consistently. And it was like a punch in the gut that she could voice something that I had been struggling with. And I went home and I started circling my living room, which I had been doing for weeks. And I started to again ask God, why did you take my family? Why did you leave me here? They were the ones that loved me unconditionally, the ones that would be there for me when the bottom just falls out. And it was from one breath to the next. He said, Rebecca, I've been here all along. And it was at that point that he opened my eyes, and I realized that I did not know him as Savior. And so I surrendered. I stopped fighting, I stopped running, I stopped arguing, and I accepted Christ as my Savior. That weight that I had felt all weekend was gone. The grief that I had struggled with for so long was finally lifted. And the questions that had always crept in about my salvation ceased to exist. I'm so thankful that he continued to pursue me, that he continued to love me, and that he never gave up on me. I still get very emotional when I talk about it. But today I'm so happy to say that by his grace I was saved, and by his grace I have been set free.